Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this is Mark Yusko saying that Bitcoin's fair value is over $50,000.
Mark Yusko, 50,000, man. We're at 41.7 or now got all the way to 45. You've been saying it for a long time.
Yeah, look, I mean, so let me give credit where credit is due. So Tim Peterson, a friend of mine who runs something called N Squared Crypto, had created this Metcalfe's Law model. Now, the original model that I found back in 2014 was actually pretty darn good.
We're having trouble with that video.
And I wish I could give credit to the guy that did it, but I can't remember his handle on Twitter. By the way, I'll never call it X. It's always going to be Twitter.
It's Twitter to me, man. Forever Twitter.
He posted this chart, and it's a parabolic chart. It's a nonlinear logarithmic regression. And it predicted that on November 6th of 2017, we'd hit 10,000. And is off by 6 days. It actually hit on November 1st. Like a pretty good model. But then it started to diverge a little bit over the next few years, and was talking with Tim, and he said, look, their decay factor is too high, is too low. So people come into the network. And anyway, what is Metcalfe's Law? Metcalfe's Law is a theory or a arithmetic rule created by this guy, I think his name's Thomas Metcalfe, at MIT. And he noticed that there's this guy Sarnoff that did work on how networks grow. And it was a simple theory that if you had a big antenna and everyone who could hear that signal was part of a network. And that was fine. But that said that networks grew linearly. But Metcalfe came along and said, well, no, because if Mark and Scott both hear it, maybe they'll communicate so there'll be more connections.
Okay, so that's their theory or part of it. Now here's another Bitcoin maxi. It's talking about 2024 is the year.
I think the politics around crypto are shifting more in favor of the technology. As you mentioned, we have presidential candidates that actually had a debate in New Hampshire on this issue just last night, but it also came up in the Republican debate with a question for Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis. But we're also seeing congressional candidates include crypto positions in their policy platforms. And I think with the next election, we're going to see more candidates who are elected to Congress who have a better understanding of this technology and why it's important for the United States to be competitive with this. And so I think as we get closer to the election, I think the tide is going to turn. Certainly doesn't mean we don't have those in Congress right now that are not excited about crypto. That is natural to have, folks on both sides of the issue. But I think increasingly the trend is in favor of the technology and the community and the ecosystem. And so I think 2024 is really going to be sort of a turnaround year for the crypto industry, and we're very excited about that.
Kristen, does the Blockchain Association have a scenario for each potential outcome? So if Biden is or is not re-elected, or there is a new administration in the White House, do you see different avenues or paths forward for your industry?
Yeah, well, I think there are a couple of key factors. I mean, a lot of personnel is policy. And so the people who are appointed, are nominated, I should say, and then confirmed by the Senate to run the independent agencies like the SEC and the CFTC have an incredibly important role to play. And so I think, whether it's Biden or somebody else, Gary Gensler's not going to be at the SEC forever, and so we will see some changes at some point. And so figuring out who those people are going to be is incredibly important. But, we're also looking at Congress. I think, if the Senate flips, that could have a huge impact. If the House flips, that could have a huge impact. So, yeah, we do a lot of scenario planning. But I think the most important thing that we're focused on right now at the Blockchain Association is really getting the education across to policymakers.
Okay, now I found this to be interesting. This is an article that was going around. Apparently, Google's AI is called Google Bard, and somebody went in and asked Google Bard what Google Bard thought the price of XRP might be when the Bitcoin halving happens. It says Bard suggested XRP could see a more substantial uptick for every 100% increase in Bitcoin's value, and the AI chatbot asserted that XRP would potentially hit $38.50 once Bitcoin clinches the $100,000 price target. This projection implies a remarkable 5,733% surge from its current price of 66 cents. I think today it was 60. In a more bullish projection, Bard emphasized that XRP could soar to $46.50 should Bitcoin reach 200,000. Such a rally would mark a 6,945% increase from XRP's current valuation. So I decided I would do Google Bard versus XGrok. I think Grok is what X calls theirs. So I asked the same question: What do you think would happen to the price of XRP when Bitcoin halves? Well, it seems like XRP price prediction after the next Bitcoin halving is a hot topic among crypto enthusiasts, and the opinions are quite diverse. Some sources suggest XRP might reach 38.50 or even 46.50, which would be remarkable 5,733% or 6,945% increase respectively from its current value of 66 cents. That's quite a jump. However, other sources are more conservative, with one predicting a $1.81 target representing 180% gain, and let's not forget the possibility of a $2.03 in 2027, which still sounds pretty good. I'm hoping those are deadly wrong. Okay, then John Deaton had Raoul Pal on his show yesterday. Wanted to show you a couple of clips of that.
And so, what are your overall thoughts on XRP, if you have any? And if you don't, that's fine.
So, I was taken down the XRP rabbit hole by Santiago Velez, who's a good friend and is an incredibly smart guy and very thoughtful. So he's like, yeah, the narrative's wrong. This is what it's about. So I'd done a bit of the work on it. Then the court case came out. And so that's when I bought XRP. You know, when you see something like that, it's like, okay, now the price has been massively discounted.
Yeah.
We know it's a real thing. Half the people have been shut out of the market. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. So that's when I bought it. And I've held it ever since.
Yeah, well, you know, it was I bought more after the lawsuit, and it reminded me of the time when Jamie Dimon said that Bitcoin was a fraud for the first time. I bought more Bitcoin on that particular day as well, because I said if it threatens him to the point where he's going to go that hard, there's got to be something to this. Anyway,
you know, the reason I bought XRP was exactly the same way that I bought Solana, which was like the crisis arrives. The price gets absolutely smashed, but I can see that there is a vibrant community with real use cases of the chain going on. It's not kind of ghost use, it's real use. So in which case, time to put your capital at work. Simple as that.
Yeah, you know, one of the other big questions, Raul, was are you optimistic? What's your overall optimism moving forward with this space? Because you clearly are one of the true leaders out there who rejects tribalism, you're chain agnostic. And I think the best answer is, I asked you this already, but how much of your time is spent on crypto versus traditional finance today?
I mean, look, I use a traditional finance investment framework, but really 99%, well, 100% of my liquid net worth is in crypto, 100%. And it has been for 3 years. It is what I really enjoy. Yes, I'm really interested in technology and this exponential age and AI and robotics and all of that. I do invest in that space as well, but my first love is crypto. I just love the whole space. I love the people in it. I love the pace of it. I love what it stands for. I love the fight.
Yep, absolutely.
The system changing in front of your eyes. I mean, these are amazing things. You know, what a time to be alive, to be part.
What a time to be alive. And here's another great clip. where they talk about a level playing field.
Intellectually, I have a hard time with the concept that there's only going to be one network, that there's only going to be one blockchain. That to me, it just doesn't sound, it's almost anti-American. No, we want competition, we want free markets, and let the best tech win, you know, and if that's Bitcoin and Bitcoin becomes all and everything, and then great. And if it's not, fine. If it's, you know, the store of value in the digital code is its narrative forever, then fine. And so I just had a hard time staying intellectually following.
Also, the weird thing is somehow that community's got itself tied up in knots where, you know, Bitcoin has a very clear narrative. It's a super secure chain. It's battle tested.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows what it is. That's all you need. But what they've then said is, well, nothing else should have value, which is this kind of intellectual weird place to end up. Right. Because these other things are networks of which people are building entire businesses, use cases, DeFi system, NFTs, all of this stuff, stable coins. That's not happening on Bitcoin. These are different types of use cases for a blockchain. And I just don't see how that...
Wow, he almost sounds like an adult in the room.
...of weird intellectual knots they get themselves tied up in to say, well, everything else is a scam and it's all worth zero. That's just stupid.
No,
and, you know, it's interesting enough, you know, I'm not a big holder of XRP, but I've always had some, but how much shit that they took because they were around in the early days.
Right.
And, you know, it really was a battle of survival of the chains. And I get it, that one gang versus the other. But, you know, it's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's funny because, you know, the main thesis in the beginning was that, XRP is the banker's coin. But now Bitcoin maxis celebrate Larry Fink in traditional...
I know, it's ridiculous.
Banks coming in and
it's centralized ownership of Bitcoin, not decentralized ownership of Bitcoin. But because number go up, it's fine.
Well, that's really what it comes down to. But
okay, so in the DAIXRP.com group today, I finished watching the movie Leave the World Behind, and to me, there's a lot of symbolism in there. There's a lot of dark stuff in there. There's something that to me is really dark that I'm going to show in the group. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. We're going to talk about that. It's a Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind, that Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are, I don't know if they're directors or what their title is, but they're behind it.